Hey gorgeous, my name is Lindsay and this is Way Society. In this video you are going to learn 5 ways that you can start unconditionally loving yourself starting today. The 5 things are talking lovingly to yourself, meditation, mirror time, doing more that you love, and loving yourself even when you're hating yourself. I believe that no one is going to love you exactly how you need to be loved. You're the only one that knows exactly how you need to be loved. Take it from me, because I was trying to find love all my life. And when I found my amazing partner, I didn't feel loved. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Because I have what I've always wanted and I still don't feel loved. Maybe you can relate, but it was bugging me so much, and so I started doing research and I started on this personal development journey and I started learning more about myself, and guess what? I started actually unconditionally loving myself. Before we get into the ways that you can start loving yourself, I want to walk you through a little exercise. I want you to close your eyes and think about a time that you really felt loved. It doesn't have to be recently, it can be in your childhood. For me, that's when I really felt loved, and when I did this exercise, it took me a minute to figure it out. So I want you to take a minute, pause this video if you need to, and find a memory that you have that you felt loved. So you got that memory? So hold that memory in your mind and think about, how did it feel? How did you feel in your body when you felt love? What did it feel like to you? I want you to tap into that feeling, because that's really, really important. And then after you have that memory, sit in it for a minute and feel how that felt. And then the next thing I want you to think about is imagine feeling that feeling every single day. It's wild to think about the fact that we can give ourselves that feeling, and we can feel that every single day. I feel it at least once a day. I mean, some days are harder than others, and I want to give you a disclaimer, because this path is not easy. Personal development is not easy. It takes daily work. It actually takes a lot of hard work and a lot of internal work, where we're actually looking inward and finding the answers that we've been seeking on the outside. It's actually all within us, which is, sometimes it's hard to think about that, because, it just kind of sucks sometimes to think, oh my God, I have the answers all the time. But it's good news, because now we can start getting the answers that we've been seeking. So the first thing that I have used to start unconditionally loving myself is talking lovingly to myself. The things that we say to ourselves in our head without even thinking about it are wild. It's so wild. And I challenge you to start thinking about, when you have a thought like, oh, I suck, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm a loser, whatever, would you say that to your daughter, to your sister, to your mother, to your best friend, to your family, whomever? Like, would you say that thing that you're saying to yourself to someone else? Probably not. So whenever you're doing that, start recognizing when you're doing it and catch yourself and be like, no, wait, I love myself, I'm good. Like, put that thought on trial and make a conscious effort to start recognizing when you're talking like an a-hole to yourself, and start not talking like an a-hole to yourself, and start learning how to love yourself. We're all different. We're all going to be talking to ourselves differently. But that is the first thing that I suggest doing, is becoming aware of your thoughts and becoming aware of how you're talking to yourself in your head, even out loud, because I talk to myself out loud all the time. The next thing that I have on my list is mirror time. And this one is really, really fun, but really, really awkward at first, because we don't do this. We typically, I mean, I didn't look myself. Well, let me tell you how to do it. So mirror time is looking at yourself in the mirror, looking yourself in the eye, and like eye gazing with yourself. I mean, it's weird. Some of this stuff is weird, but hey, it works for me, and so I'm sharing it with you. But I look myself in the eye and I really see all the colors and what my eye looks like. And then I tell myself, Lindsay, I love you. And it took me a long time to like get comfortable with that because it was weird, but it's so beneficial and it feels so good. And even if that's the one moment of feeling love, you had that moment of feeling love. I did it this morning and it just felt so good. I was like, ah, I love myself. And it feels good. It's about bringing up the feeling of love. That's why I wanted you to feel it earlier. I want you to feel that all the time. By the way, that's Ziggy and that's Owen. They're going to be in my videos. Who knows what they're going to do in the future, but so mirror time. And once you get used to that, then you can get to the advanced stages, and that's mirror time naked. And I tell you what, that took me a long time because old me would look in the mirror and I would only see the things that I hated about myself, and I would think about how I hated that part of my body or whatever. And I'm sure that some of you can relate, and it's not beneficial to do that. It doesn't feel good to do that. So now I look at all the things that I love about myself and I'm just like, ooh, I love that, I love that, I love that. And I'm just becoming more comfortable, first of all, in my body, and second of all, just learning how to love myself and giving myself all the compliments that I need. I feel like, especially for women, like we're seeking external validation for our beauty, and when really deep down we just want to feel loved. And it's not about the external, it's about internal. And I think that that's what this exercise helps with, is feeling that love internally and conjuring up that love internally. And it takes work, like I was talking about earlier. I didn't just wake up one day and look in the mirror and be like, hell yeah, I love you, girl. Like, no. It took a long time because I had been talking crappy to myself for so long. So it takes time because we're so embedded, like we're so automatic with our thinking. And I'm going to talk about that more in another video, but just think about how long you've been talking like crappy to yourself, and just be aware that it's not going to take it that long to correct it, but it is going to take some time to get used to it. And it's weird and it's awkward at first, and you may be like, what the hell am I doing? But continue doing it. I can attest, I do it all the time. I try to eye gaze with myself at night and in the morning, and it puts me in a very good mood and I feel love. So the next thing on the list is meditation. I'm going to have a whole video on this, and I already actually have a podcast episode on it, Wave Society Podcast Season 2, Episode 2. My partner Dan and I, we talk all about meditation, but I cannot stress enough how much meditation has transformed my life. It's a daily thing for me. I do 20 minutes in the morning, an hour plus at night. Not every night, but I'm working towards every night. But I only started out with 10 minutes. I only started out with music. Now we do a mixture of guided or just music. And I have, like, that was the first time I truly felt love of myself and truly felt like that feeling as an adult. Like it was the first time I'd ever felt loved. And it's such amazing news because I'm giving it to myself. I don't have to wait for someone else to give it to me. I don't have to wait for someone else to tell me that they love me. I don't have to wait for anything because I can give it to myself. And meditation is so amazing because it gives you time to quiet your mind, to relax. It's you time. No one else matters. Nothing else matters. It's just you time. And you can conjure up those feelings of self-love during meditation, and I can't even describe how amazing it has felt in that space. And the beautiful thing is it's going to feel different for everyone, but it's almost like just warm, fuzzy feelings, and you just feel good, and it feels so good. So the next thing that I have on the list is do more of what you love. Find those things that you've forgotten about and do them and start doing them again, whether it's crafting, crocheting, dancing, painting, art, reading, listening to music, going to concerts, whatever it is, start doing more of it. Start finding new things that you enjoy. Go out with your friends. At least from my experience, I used to not do things because I was so insecure and I didn't love myself, and I didn't put myself out there, and I didn't do things that I loved. So I was just sitting around like upset that I wasn't having fun with my life. So when I started doing more of what I love, the listening to music, dancing is a huge thing for me. And I'll just put on music and I go down to the lake and I dance around. And people probably think I'm nuts, but I don't care because it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, who doesn't want to feel good? Another thing that I enjoy doing, and this was a really hard one for me, but it's learning to love yourself even when you're hating yourself. This one was hard because I thought I had conditional love for myself. When I'm 20 pounds lighter, then I'll love myself. When I'm this, then I'll love myself. When I get the next job, then I'll love myself. Then it doesn't work that way. We've got to start loving ourselves now. And even if you're hating yourself, start loving yourself. When you recognize, oh my gosh, I'm hating myself, or I'm talking negatively to myself, or you failed at something and you're feeling pretty crappy about it. But in those moments, we can still love ourselves and we can still have compassion for ourselves. And so that's a big one, I think, is compassion for ourselves. And the benefit of all of this is that, first of all, you fill yourself up. And when you fill yourself up, you start overflowing into your whole world. And it's easier, like your relationships change, your work environment changes because you are feeling good. So you don't need anything else on the outside to start feeling good. And that's a huge benefit. I've noticed that I have way more compassion for people since I started loving myself. I've felt love from other people since I started loving myself. And sometimes I feel like we don't even know what that feeling feels like truly. We say we want love, but do we know what it actually feels like? Sometimes I didn't really know what it felt like until I felt it for myself. So these are the things that I do to start learning how to love myself. First of all, talk lovingly to yourself, mirror time, meditation, doing more of what you love, and loving yourself even when you're hating yourself. I urge you to start doing at least one of those things. You don't have to do them all, but pick one and start doing it for a week and see how you feel. Because, from my experience, I feel amazing. It feels so good to wake up every day and know that you are loved. And you are love. I believe that we are all love at the core of our being. And the thing that humans want most is to feel love and to feel connected. And we think that we need to get that from the outside. But we have forgotten that it's all within us. And this is such great news because we can start changing and we can start getting the love that we've been wanting all of our life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you had any aha moments, comment. I would love to hear from you. And make sure that you subscribe. I'm going to be having videos like this at least weekly. And I am just so excited to connect with you. And if you want to follow me on social media, I'm Way Society. Way is spelled W-A-I. And make sure that if you enjoyed this video, share it. I want to get this message out to everyone because it has changed my life so much, and I would really appreciate a share if you enjoyed this. And so I'm going to wrap this up now, but I hope you have an amazing day, gorgeous. And remember, you are loved.